Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You're still watching Nile Cruise, and now we're going to talk about Egypt, the global beacon of heritage and culture. As the world celebrates the power of museums to unite cultures, Egypt stands at the forefront of this global movement. Today, we explore how our nation is redefining the museum experience for a new generation. And to talk more about this topic, we are very delighted to have with us here Dr. Amr Atef. He is a distinguished tourism expert. Thank you very much, Doctor, for coming again to us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Amr, the Times recently called the Grand Egyptian Museum the fourth pyramid. Tell us more about the unique architecture bridge the gap between ancient history and the modern world.
Well, the Grand Egyptian Museum and the pyramids, the Grand Museum, when it was built, they were inspired by the pyramids. So when you go inside the museum from the outside first, there is a pyramidal shape entrances. And then everything inside looks pyramidal. So they were inspired by the pyramids, and it was built closer to the pyramids to be able to visit, for the tourists to be able to visit both the Grand Egyptian Museum and the pyramids. And there is actually a bridge that's connecting the Giza pyramids to the museum.
Dr. Amr, with the Grand Egyptian Museum managing up to 15,000 visitors daily, how do smart technologies like AI and VR help preserve the ancient Egyptian soul of the experience?
Well, the museum is very advanced. The way it's built, and also the AI and the VR in the museum. So that helped to have an experience, a distinguished experience of visiting the museum. 15,000 travelers a day, that should increase the number of visitors to Egypt. And we want to reach the 30 million tourists by 2030. So the Grand Egyptian Museum helped in doing that. There are lots of people now who come to visit the museum.
It's 15,000 daily.
Daily. And they help they come to visit the museum and the pyramids in one day. So that's encouraging tourism. And now the travelers who come to Egypt, they don't come to stay for a couple of days as they used to in the past, but they come to stay longer. So they spend longer stays and longer nights in Cairo, and thanks to the Grand Egyptian Museum.
Dr. Amr, this year's global theme focuses on uniting a divided world. How do Egypt's museum act as an ambassador for international peace and understanding?
Our ancient Egyptian heritage is actually playing a role in unifying people together. So it's more than a museum. I'm talking about the Grand Egyptian Museum. It's actually a hub, a big hub. And they are now talking about how the archaeological artifacts in the museum, how it unifies the whole world, because different nationalities come to visit the museum from all over the world. So I think that's how it will be unifying for the ancient Egyptian artifacts, unifying the people together.
Dr. Amr, how are the regional museums in cities like Sohag, Noba, Sharm el-Sheikh help to decentralize the tourism experience and highlight local heritage?
Of course, in the past, people would go to Sharm el-Sheikh to enjoy the beach only, or they go to Sohag for the sights, but there was no museum. So we have Sharm el-Sheikh Museum, and
displaying what? Sharm el-Sheikh Museum?
It's displaying pieces from the ancient Egyptian time, from the Old Kingdom in Sharm el-Sheikh, from the Old Kingdom, and some of the pieces that was under the water, that was rescued from under the water, also is displayed in Sharm el-Sheikh Museum. Almenia Museum also plays another role, and Sohag Museum. So we have a diversity of museums that people they can combine the activities they do in Sharm el-Sheikh, for instance, and visit the museum as well. So that enriches the experience that they do in the past.
Dr. Amr, after the inauguration of the Grand Egyptian Museum, we witnessed a change in the way the younger generations interact with their history. Tell us more about this.
Of course, I mean the field trips is the best proof for that. You see field trips of the students visiting
Universities, schools,
universities, schools, and
and
students
even
in
free trips by the
free
youth.
trips, yes, and
Mhm.
they go visit the pyramids and visit the museum.
Mhm.
Especially with the new way of visiting the pyramids now, they have hop-on, hop-off buses
Yes.
that goes around the pyramids,
There's a lot of cafes.
cafes and restaurants like
Yeah.
in the pyramids area. So that helped in the total experience. And the schools and universities are keen. Whenever I go to the gym, I see field trips of children visiting the museum.
And they are
Also,
keen to know every
every
detail
detail about their
about,
heritage.
yeah.
That will increase the awareness of the local community, will increase the awareness of the people with their own heritage, and they will be ready to protect it. If anything happens, they will be ready to protect their heritage.
Dr. Amr, we've all seen the Egyptian artifacts in different museums in the world. Tell us more, in what ways is Egypt leading the global conversation on the ethical return of cultural artifacts to their home countries?
Egypt was successfully returned back 6,000 pieces from the museums abroad to our museums
Lately?
lately,
Okay.
to our homeland. And this is very ethical, I mean, to return back the artifacts. But I have another idea also, which is I mean, the artifacts are already in different museums, and this can work as an advertisement for Egypt. If we take an example of Nefertiti, for instance, people can come to see where Nefertiti came from here, and then the countries that took our artifacts can give us some benefits from having the artifacts abroad,
Yeah.
like training our curators, like restoring our monuments, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So that will be a win-win relationship
So let's look at from the positive side.
from the positive side.
Yeah. Dr. Amra, how are the modern Egyptian museums evolving into cultural hubs now with theaters, social spaces, and markets? And we've talked about the cafes and restaurants in the Grand Egyptian Museum, also the cultural activities. Tell us more about this.
The AI is playing a big role in the cultural activities in the different museums, especially in the Grand Egyptian Museum, the gem. And the feedback we get from the visitors who visit the gem is very positive. Everybody says they had a wonderful experience. The good thing about it is they can visit the gem and they can have a snack or a lunch or a meal in the gem and continue to visit and then head to the pyramids.
Yeah.
So they combine the visiting the pyramids and the
And
Grand
also
Egyptian
they
Museum.
have also cultural activities
Cultural
over there.
activities over there and theaters,
Yeah.
like the tomb of King Tutankhamun display,
Yes.
and like the Ramses II's display that was played also in the gym.
Yeah.
So those are cultural activities that enhance the experience of visiting the Grand Egyptian Museum.
Yes. Dr. Amr, we'll go for a short break and come back. Ladies and gentlemen, short break and we'll come back to continue our conversation with Dr. Amr, Atef, the tourism expert. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You're still watching Nile Cruise, and we're still talking about the Grand Egyptian Museum and celebrating the museum's day with Dr. Amr Atef, the tourism expert. Thank you very much, Dr. Amr, again
Thank you.
for coming to Nile Cruise. Dr. Amr, we want to talk more about sustainable development and steps by Egypt taking to ensure the museum buildings are environmentally sustainable and energy efficient.
Of course, I mean, sustainability is in everything now.
Yeah.
In tourism, in museums, in buildings, and so on and so forth. The way the Grand Egyptian Museum is built is very sustainable.
Yeah.
I mean, they have lighting, daylighting, to save the power. So the museum is a green museum, considered to be one of the biggest green museums in the world. Also, the saving energy and being environmentally friendly is works as sustainable building. The environmental aspect of the museum is also very clear in the way it's built, and people get impressed when they visit the gem for this.
Yeah. Dr. Amr, why it is important to highlight specialized sites like the Islamic and Coptic museums, to show the multi-layered identity of Egypt?
Egypt is like a cake, and it's layers. So the first layer, if we can say, is pharaonic layer,
Yeah.
and then the second layer will be a Greco-Roman layer,
Okay.
and then another layer which is the Islamic layer, and then the modern layer, Mamluks and so on and so forth. So it's different layers.
Yes.
And the museums that we have, like the Coptic Museum and like the Islamic Museum, shows the diversity in culture in Egypt.
Yes. Dr. Amr, how does a world-class museum experience directly impact a tourist length of stay and their economic contribution to the country?
Of course, I mean, we have lots of museums now opened in Egypt, and that would allow the travelers or the tourists to stay longer nights in the country. And and also the quality of the visitors are better than before. People come to visit New Egypt now, and this is not Egypt that the grandparents of the travelers came to see. This is New Egypt that the visitors are coming to see.
Yeah.
And the different museums and the diversity of culture allow them to spend longer nights in Egypt.
Yes, of
And
course.
that's very helpful and good for the economy.
Dr. Amr, we want to talk more about the collaboration between Egypt and international bodies to set new standards for the restoration of sensitive artifacts like the papyri.
I'll talk again about the gem and the National Museum of Egyptian Civilization, the NEMEC,
Yeah.
because they have one of the most advanced labs for restoration. And I have been to both labs in both museums, and I've seen them restoring papyri, and not only papyri, restoring books, ancient books, and protecting it, and also wooden pieces. And since we spoke about restoration, we cannot ignore the solar boat. The solar boat that was brought
Yeah.
from the Giza pyramids and being displayed in the gem to be the largest
Restored item, artifact.
natural artifact worldwide, with a length of 130 feet, and it's made out of cedar
Quite
wood
big.
that they got from Lebanon.
Yeah.
So, and they moved it as one piece from in front of the pyramid of Cheops.
That's
They moved it
fantastic.
as one piece to
Yeah.
the gem.
Yeah.
And they are building another one now, restoring it and having it on display next to the old boat.
Yeah. Dr. Amr, how does the museum without walls concept like the Avenue of the Sphinx complement the traditional indoor museum visit?
The Avenue of the Sphinx is amazing. It connects Karnak to Luxor. It connects Karnak to Luxor, and it's an amazing site. The length of the Avenue of the Sphinx is 2.8 kilometers, and the number of sphinxes in the avenue is 3,400 pieces, more than 3,400 pieces of sphinxes. And it's very controversial, as a matter of fact, because when it was restored and open to the visitors, there was another opinion that it affected the people who live in Luxor. And because they had to, I mean, they were living in the area, and Egypt was between two choices, whether to leave it as it is or to go through the hard decision of restoring the Avenue of the Sphinxes, and they managed to restore it and open it to the visitors. It's very impressive, and the feedback we get from the visitors is very positive. Seeing and walking through it, especially at night, with the lights and the lightning that happens
So
in the
it's
site.
a must-see site. When
It's
you
a
come to
must-see.
Egypt.
It's a must-see site, and it's very impressive, if I
Of
can say.
course. Dr. Amr, one final question about the Egypt 2030. What is the next major milestone for our museum sector on the global stages?
As you kindly mentioned, 15,000 visiting the museum a day. That's something that's big, that's huge, and that's and also increasing the nights in Cairo. Travelers come now to spend. I mean, there are lots of travelers who spend a month and 15 days to a month in Egypt, and that's because of the museums that has been opened, including the Grand Egyptian Museum.
Well, Dr. Amr Atif, the distinguished tourism expert, thank you very much for joining us today in Night
Thank
Cruise.
you.